Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be giving you my Virgo June 2018 horoscope forecast. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the sun, moon, and ascendant. Anyway, people, first thing up is as far as June goes, the sun will be in Gemini from the 1st until the 21st. So the 10th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, there could be strong focus, attention, concentration of energy on one's career, reputation, the public image, a dominant parent, authority figures, and success and recognition and notoriety. Now, this could be done perhaps with a lot of Gemini animation, vivacious energy, very animated way, very spirited, lively, yet can be somewhat superficial because remember that Gemini energy is not exactly known for their tenacity or persistence, and there could be a lot of loquacious energy with this. And what I'm saying is it could be more, unfortunately, about talking rather than doing, so just be careful as far as that goes. Now, anyway, as far as June goes, the sun will be in Cancer from the 21st until the 30th. So the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Virgo. So at this time for Virgo, there could be a strong focus, attention, concentration of energy on friends, acquaintances, groups, organizations, aspirations, goals, and the future. And this could be done with a lot of Cancer-like emotion, nurturing energy, very with a lot of sensitivity, a lot of protective energy, and especially in terms of far as the friends and acquaintances go, and with a lot of sympathy toward those people as well. And a lot of this, these aspirations and goals can be connected with Cancer-like safety and security energy. So anyway, well, the next thing up is the new moon will be in Gemini on June 13th. So the 10th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time for Virgo, there could be perhaps a new Gemini-like vocation, something connected with writing or communication. It could be broadcasting, data communications, satellite communications, any journalism, anything associated with communications field. Also, it could be where you may rekindle a Gemini sun, moon, or ascendant relationship, or rekindle a relationship with somebody that might embody Gemini-like characteristics. That could be an authority figure. It could be the dominant parent, which is often the father. And really perhaps a new reputation, so to speak, as being more communicative, versatile, expressing diversity, and even being dexterous and being maybe more handy with your hands, such as working on vehicles. Now, next up is the full moon will be in Capricorn on June 28th. So the 5th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, for Virgo, Virgo might simply become tired, full, exasperated at maybe a limiting or depressing, restricting love or romantic life. It could be maybe a depressing connection with children, or maybe tired or full exasperated at maybe tyrannical, ruthless, cold, callous qualities stemming from a love, romantic relationship, or maybe someone, or could be a child. Also, this could be about the completion or culmination, perhaps, of a Capricorn-like project that might have been done with the child or with a romantic partner. It could be something that might have been business or government related, perhaps something connected with information technology. And also maybe it could be a hobby too, or something of amusement might come to an end, or maybe done with a lot of this full emotional energy, a Capricorn-like hobby, thing of amusement. I mean, could be hiking, even mountain climbing, something connected with information technology. I even think it could be something with building, even like doing like model planes or vehicles, like those ones like that you snap together or glue together. I mean, it's just something that's connected with building and structure. So I think that could be a possibility as well. So anyway, well, the next thing up is Mercury will be in Gemini as far as June goes from the 1st until the 12th. So the 10th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Virgo. So at this time, for Virgo. Well, Virgo might be expressing manifold ideas related to one's career, their stature in life, and expressing them maybe with authority figures, the dominant parent, which is often the father. And you might be more loquacious and talkative with that dominant parent and with authority figures at this time more so than usual. And also maybe might be a greater propensity to speak with eloquence and good diction in regards to your public image and reputation at this time. And remember that Mercury is also, it's not just about communications, it's about, could be about siblings as well. So if you have any, if applicable, it could be about maybe Gemini siblings, sun, moon, or ascendant siblings, or ones that embody Gemini-like characteristics that might figure more prominently in your stature in life, your career at this time, and maybe in your reputation, public image, your success in general in getting notoriety and recognition. So anyway, next thing up is Mercury will be in Cancer as far as June goes, from the 12th until the 29th. So the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, there could be more of an ability to extemporize in communications with friends, with acquaintances at this time, and also maybe a lot of reflecting and reminiscing with them, talking about the good days, perhaps, or maybe even the bad as well. Also being very contemplative regarding your aspirations, your goals, and your future at this time, and maybe more emotional communication regarding 11th house matters. Also maybe being a little bit more, unfortunately, sensitive to criticism and ridicule from friends, from acquaintances, maybe people that you may know in some clubs, groups, organizations at this time as well. Anyway, well, the next thing up is Mercury will be in Leo as far as June goes, from the 29th until the 30th. So the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Virgo. So at this time for Virgo, well, Virgo might find him or herself speaking with a lot more authority regarding limitations and restrictions, and maybe dominating their private conversations at this time, but also at the same time thinking maybe about really thinking generously, so to speak, about what you may do for the less fortunate, or such as the oppressed, the impoverished, the homeless, or speaking confidently, or maybe even boasting about it, unfortunately. But also too, this could be reflect a lot of maybe creative thinking in solitude and seclusion and in private right now, and also maybe siblings that, I mean, Leo-like siblings, if applicable, or ones Leo, Sun, Moon, Ascendant siblings, or ones that may embody Leo-like characteristics might figure more prominently in your private life, and in some cases might even be a hidden adversary in some isolated cases. So it's important just to be careful at this time. So anyway. Well, the next thing up is Venus will be in Cancer as far as June goes, from the 1st until the 13th. So the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Virgo. So at this time, well, this could be in some cases about getting money from home and people prominent in your home, from family and people prominent in your home life, that may go towards your future, to your goals, your aspirations. It could be about expressing feelings connected with sympathy, and really being nurturing, maybe toward people that you know in clubs and groups and organizations, toward your friends, toward your acquaintances at this time, and really about valuing, nurturing your solitude, seclusion, your private life at this time, and maybe valuing your home in family, in terms of in spending that money, that maybe even with that Cancer tenacity, perhaps for your safety and security at this time, and might be that safety and security that might be tied in toward your future, and maybe putting that money aside, so to speak, in a nest egg, figuratively speaking, for example, such as maybe some retirement plans. So it's really spending the money for that Cancer like safety and security for the future, perhaps. And if you're unattached Virgo, this could be a time where you might find a Cancerian, a Sun, Moon, Ascendant Cancerian love, perhaps, that you might meet in some club, group, or organization, or one that may embody Cancerian characteristics. Anyway, next thing up is Venus will be in Leo as far as June goes from the 13th until the 30th. So the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Virgo. Well, in some cases, this could be a clandestine affair with a Leo Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or one that embodies Leo-like characteristics. It could also be about some financial restrictions and limitations due to that Leo-like extravagance and tendency to spend an exorbitant amount of money on things. And also, too, in some cases, you may find if unattached Virgo, you may find a Leo Sun, Moon, or Ascendant love, or one that embodies Leo-like characteristics that might maybe factor in maybe into your private life, or might be strongly in your private life, solitude and seclusion, or maybe that was introduced to you maybe by an aunt or an uncle, perhaps. Also about valuing, taking pride and dignity in your private life, in your solitude, and maybe even some extravagant spending on aunts and uncles at this time, if applicable. So anyway, or a Leo, so in some cases it could be a Leo relationship, might be a hidden adversary at this time. And of course, I mean Leo Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or one that embodies Leo-like characteristics. So anyway, next thing up is Mars will be in Aquarius at this time, and given that being that Mars will be in Aquarius, and it will be retrograde for the latter part of the month, from like the 26th until the 30th. So at this time, well, the way this could pan out, there could be more contentious, acrimonious situations, perhaps with people in employment that you might be in your work life, and maybe getting angry at fellow employees' idiosyncratic behavior, or people that are in your daily routine or figure prominent in your health life. There might be some unusual surgery that might take place over some work-related situation. Problem. Maybe there's some surgery connected with something Aquarius-like. That could be with the ankles or the shins. And also, too, a lot of injecting perhaps a lot of selfless humanitarian energy into service provided for others at this time. It could be where you might be fighting friends verbally, maybe even in some cases otherwise in your daily routine, or it might become almost habitual to be doing this during this time, and maybe some combative situations with them as well. But also remember that given that it's going to be retrograde in that latter part of the month, that you might be going back to maybe energy, maybe being used maybe in your daily routine that might be connected with computers, electronics, even esoteric subjects such as astrology. So anyway, well, the next thing up is Jupiter will be in Scorpio still, and it will be retrograde. And the third house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Virgo. So at this time for Virgo, Virgo may have certain luck and fortune, perhaps through making maybe maybe doing something connected with transformation with vehicles, or doing some kind of recycling in their neighborhood. With neighbors, perhaps, and also too going perhaps beyond subterfuge and superficiality in their communications, and also matters with neighbors and siblings as well, and also being able to decipher the motives and going through character composition of siblings, neighbors, and even people that they may know in their early education, people that are prominent in one's short journeys at this time. But remember that it is going to be retrograde, so there could be some review, perhaps of some deep, profound philosophy. Maybe that's tied in with your communications, and maybe it's something that maybe you're going back to that you had from your early education. And also, this could be about some luck and fortune, getting to the bottom of some mystery, perhaps in your neighborhood at this time. So anyway, Well, the next thing up is Saturn will be in Capricorn. So the fifth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. It will be retrograde in June. So anyway, for Virgo, there might be certain restrictions, limitations, perhaps connected with one's love life, matters with children, maybe even fun and enjoyment at this time. And you might be, in some cases, be taking care of some sickly or debilitated love romantic partner, or maybe a child in some cases, or maybe someone that figures prominent in your general enjoyment, or maybe a hobby you share. This could also be about really giving some structure and discipline to your love life, perhaps at this time if you hadn't already. And also, given that it's going to be retrograde, this could be about reviewing serious responsibilities, perhaps to even your enjoyment, your amusement, having fun for yourself, and maybe your love romantic life, and really about maybe matters pertaining to children as well. Now, in some cases, this could be about maybe taking responsibility to past gambling debts. We're talking about retrograde energy. And also maybe some cases too, this could manifest perhaps in some kind of government restriction that you feel might be prohibiting or inhibiting your fun and enjoyment at this time. Now, anyway, next thing up is Uranus will be in Taurus. So the ninth house as well be emphasized and highlighted. So for Virgo, this could be, the way this could manifest perhaps is the formulation perhaps of new ways to make money. It could be with foreigners perhaps at this time, or maybe these ideas might come about through your contacts, perhaps with in-laws, with grandchildren perhaps, and these same people might be expressing some kind of unusual persistence or obstinacy or stubbornness at this time. And you might have maybe some financial fluctuations may impact matters connected with higher education, maybe publishing even, and maybe your long distance travel plans as well. At the same time, on one positive end, this could be, the way this could manifest is that you might take an interest in terms of maybe taking a college course, maybe connected with something Uranus like, such as electronics, computers, aerospace, astronomy, and even astrology. Whether or not it's available in a college, I don't know, but you can. But I mean, you could even, but if you were like trying to learn online, say, and it was post high school education, so to speak, that could still apply, I believe. So anyway, and maybe Taurus like friendships might figure more prominently in your philosophical outlook. It could be Taurus Sun Moon Ascendant people, or maybe ones that embody Taurus like characteristics, ones that could be very stable, loyal, and steadfast. Anyway, next thing up is Neptune will be in Pisces still. So the seventh house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Virgo. Now at this time, this could be about the dissipation and dissolving, perhaps in some cases open adversaries, which could be positive, but it could also be about dissipation, dissolving of a significant other, might fade out of your life, or maybe even a business partnership as well, a dissolving business, so to speak. And also you might have more difficulty in the character composition of others in general, and even open adversaries might appear unclear and nebulous at this time. Now, it could also manifest perhaps in public speaking, on the metaphysical, which could include astrology, but also too is that this could be about some weird disappearance of some legal documents, and maybe that disappearance, so to speak, of an ability to compromise in certain situations. You might feel like during this time that you might be really sacrificing a lot for others and not getting a lot of reciprocation and much in return. This is what this could be about. I have Neptune in my seventh house natally, and sadly a lot of my life, I do believe, has been about really me, about trying to give selflessly, and really a lot of sacrifice, and not really getting a lot of reciprocation and maybe even appreciation in a lot of instances in return. So I actually understand this all too well because it's my natal position. So anyway, next thing up is Pluto will be in Capricorn still. So the fifth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So for Virgo, well, in some cases, I mean, I know you don't want me to say the dreaded D word, but you know I do it anyway. This could, some cases, be the literal death of maybe someone in your love romantic life. It could be the death of a child, someone that might be prominent in your amusement, your enjoyment. This could also be, in some cases, about really controlling behavior, connected with children, with somebody in love, in a love romantic relationship, and really maybe trying to gain your own control of your amusement at this time and enjoyment. What's interesting is here's another placement I have natally. I have Pluto in my 5th house in my natal chart, and I have absolutely no children. I'm not the typical Cancer Sun person. I mean, people don't think, I'm going off a little Gemini moon tangent here, but I want to say that, don't think just because somebody has the sun in Cancer that they're going to have this fruitful, prodigious family, and they're going to have a kid in there, they're all going to have children, and this and that, because that's really, I mean, you have to understand the whole chart, of course, to understand. But anyway, going back to Pluto and Capricorn and the 5th house being emphasized and highlighted for Virgo, in some cases this could be, and really depending on the aspects that this is making to other planets and planets in one's natal chart, some cases this could be about compulsive gambling and speculation, especially like say if you're getting, if this is like making an adverse aspect to your natal Jupiter, perhaps that could be an indicator right there. Now also too, dealing with perhaps really maybe obsessive, domineering, controlling, maybe children, people in your love and romantic life as well, maybe power struggles with these people as well. So anyway, and also it could be about maybe doing something with the supernatural, the occult, or even astrology as a form of enjoyment at this time. Anyway, next thing up is the North Node will be in Leo still, so the 12th house is will be emphasized and highlighted for Virgo. So at this time for Virgo, well, remember we were talking about the North Node transit. This could, the way this could manifest often is about issues one has to confront and address perhaps, and this could be about having to confront perhaps a very arrogant, domineering, bombastic, overbearing, perhaps aunt or uncle in some cases, and it might even be a hidden adversary exhibiting these characteristics. And we are wondering, well, some of you may be wondering, well, how if it's a hidden enemy or hidden adversary, how you confront him? Well, what I'm saying is that this could actually be in the form of a friend or acquaintance, a person you might think is one anyway, and it might actually be somebody that's really secretly being your enemy, as an example. So anyway, in some isolated cases, this could be about dealing with a mental illness, like say delusions of grandeur at this time in some isolated cases, but also about being directed toward taking pride and dignity in your private and personal life, and maybe showing more gregariousness and extroversion in your private life. And also this could, the way this could manifest too is about really showing generosity toward those that are less fortunate than yourself, such as the homeless, the oppressed, and the impoverished. So anyway, next thing up is the Black Moon Lilith will be in Capricorn still. So the 5th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted for Virgo. So at this time for Virgo, well, this could be, when you're talking about the Black Moon Lilith, of course, this could be about really an unveiling or a revelation, and of maybe perhaps a formidable, in this case Capricorn adversary. And it could be in some cases, I mean, it could be a Capricorn Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or one that embodies Capricorn characteristics. It could be someone that was prominent in one's enjoyment or hobbies. It could be a child in some cases. In some cases, this could be a romantic love relationship the person is involved in. Also, when you're talking about the Black Moon Lilith, it could also represent what would put one in a strong state of fear and trepidation. This could be about losing perhaps that authority over a child, over a romantic partner, and even their own authority, so to speak, over the fun and amusement that one may have at this time, or even a consistent gambling, maybe in form of enjoyment, or consistently being able to gamble, I should say. in some cases. And also too, this could be the way this could also be about the revelation of somebody connected with the fifth house that might be showing some ruthless, tyrannical, overambitious, even dictatorial qualities, which could be in the form of a child. It could be somebody in a love romantic relationship. And also, when you're talking about the black moon Lilith, this could be the way this could manifest is something coming out of the bag, so to speak, that you didn't want to be revealed and unveiled. And it could just simply be maybe a restricting or depressing love life, or something where you feel that your enjoyment is really limited and restricted. So anyway, last but not least, Chiron will be in Aries, so the 8th houses will be emphasized and highlighted for Virgo. So at this time for Virgo, well, Virgo might be dealing with certain emotional wounds connected maybe with lack of enterprise and initiative and making a major change or transformation in one's life, maybe that lack of courage and fortitude in dealing with a crisis situation, and might be going through a lot of really emotional suffering and sorrow at this point because of this, and maybe not being able, it could be, I mean, when you're talking about Chiron and Aries, a lot of this could be about feelings of not being worthy enough, unworthiness, even inadequacy. Could it be sexual inadequacy at this, in some cases, perhaps worthiness of maybe having a sexual partner could be an issue, and one's feeling a lot of emotional stress because of this and facing strong repercussions because of this. Could this be maybe perhaps psychological warfare that the person is going through, and going through a lot of sorrow because of that? And also too, I mean, really about maybe, and again, going back to that Aries, not really being able to express the Aries courage and fortitude to make that major change in one's life, and maybe not, it could be issues of maybe not receiving that emotional and moral support that one really wanted aggressively to be expressed to them by others, but it would maybe just did not happen, and there's obviously could be some despondency because of that. And also maybe not worthy of having feelings of unworthiness connected with having a sexual partner or an intimate relationship at this time. But remember that Chiron is the wounded healer. So in the areas that Virgo, where you may be going through some emotional wounds and suffering connected with what I just described, you might be able to help others in comparable situations, in doing so with a lot of that Aries-like courage, fortitude, aggressiveness, initiative, and enterprise. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for my Virgo June 2018 horoscope forecast. Stay tuned next time, where I'll be giving you my Libra June 2018 horoscope forecast. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel, but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.